Hey everyone, it's Scott Winroth, and welcome to my first vlog on my channel. This is a little bit different than my normal stuff. You may be familiar with my tutorials on Content Academy. You maybe have taken one of my WordPress workshops or WordPress tutorials, or maybe you even caught one of my vintage shopping / thrifting videos with my wife. I want to do something a little bit different. I've been on an incredible journey the last year. Well, I mean, my entire life, but last year I've really kind of buckled down and lost 100 pounds. I want to kind of share my story with people because I feel like it's a great way to inspire, collaborate, and keep myself accountable. And that's one of the reasons why I'm starting this new vlog that I want to share with the world. To give a little bit of backstory on me, I'm 40 years old. I hate to say this because it's almost like a cliche for a weight loss vlog, but like I was always the chubby kid. I mean, I come from a family where we were always overweight. I've got many people in my family who are overweight, and I love you all, and I hope you're okay with me saying this, but you know, it's difficult because we've all had our own struggles. We've all gone up and down over the years, and we all have our own mental challenges that we deal with too, you know. And we learn our habits from our friends and family early on, and it's something that's very hard to break. In high school, freshman, sophomore year, I was always kind of a little bit bigger. Then I enrolled in a special gym class I wanted to. I actually begged the coach to let me join a special gym class called Excel. And through restricting, through exercise, and being a teenager, I was able to lose 100 pounds between my sophomore and junior year of high school. And that was great. I mean, it was a really good time to lose 100 pounds because I was coming of age and had college ahead of me and had high school graduation, and it was really an important time for me to lose weight. I'm really glad I did it then. But unfortunately, as I got out of school, you know, you start drinking, you start partying, you have different aspects of life happen. I put the weight back, and I put the weight back on up in my late 20s, and throughout my entire 30s, I was at least 100 pounds plus overweight. It was never a huge issue. Obviously, didn't really have a body image that I loved, and of course, I was always subconscious of my weight. But at the same time, I was still functional. I mean, I was still able to work. I was still able to maintain somewhat what you would call normal life. It really wasn't until I met with one of my doctors one time when they said that, you know, you're missing out on a lot of life. I sort of took offense to that when the doctor said that to me because I felt like I was having a awesome life. But, you know, the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what, he's right. And there's a lot of things that actually I missed because of my weight. And it's not just like the simple things like flying in airplanes. I mean, I was able to fly in airplanes, but it was uncomfortable, or buying certain clothes, or, you know, going to a amusement park, right? Those are things that most overweight people struggle with, myself included. It's something that happens so gradually that you really don't realize that you're missing out on these things until you are able to do them again, right? Which is what I'm experiencing now. And so for me, it's really important to share the story because I want other people to be inspired. I want to learn from other people and stay accountable. One of the best things that I did was in early 2020, I joined a group called TOPS. And TOPS is a weight loss group that's been around for eons. And there's a group here in Skokie that is all men. And I joined that group. It's not too far from where we live in the city. I hate to say this because I don't want it to come off wrong, but basically the majority of the group are in their like 70s. Like, it's been around for a long time. There's also even some guys in there that are in their 90s, which is amazing. I hope I lived in my 90s and still are able to go to a TOPS group because they can still go because at the end of the day, they can live independently, which is amazing. You know, that's one thing I've learned from this group is that as you get older, your priorities change, right? As you get into retirement, obviously your struggles with retirement are different than what they are when you're working. Today, it's hard for me to lose weight because I have a high stress job. I have a wife I adore and try to maintain that relationship, obviously. And I have friends, and, you know, going to the gym is not easy because I don't have 2 hours every day to go work out. You know, I have to make time for that. Whereas in retirement, it's just the opposite. You have like 100 hours, you know, what do you do with all your time, especially when your body's getting older and you're not able to do such physical, strenuous activity, right? So it's interesting to hear what these different struggles in different areas of our life. And I think I want to bring this to the vlog and how we can cope and live and thrive on different aspects of losing weight. And it's not just, you know, what you eat, although that big component is your actual diet or what you consume. And exercise is I think less important, but is also an important thing to be part of the equation. but also it's the mental aspect of losing weight. And I think that through this, I want to share with you my experiences that actually started in tops. Of course, we all know what happened in 2020. You know, COVID hit and the whole world turned upside down. And I wasn't really able to sort of like drive my weight loss journey from 2020. It didn't really happen until 2022 when we were kind of on the backside of the pandemic, if you will. But there's a lot of things that happened along the way, a lot of things that I learned, a lot of things that I want to sort of bring to this vlog to share with you, and hopefully you can use to enhance your personal journey. Being obese is something that is a topic that spans countries. It's a global issue. Obesity is on the rise everywhere, and I want to sort of point out that there's also this like sort of thing on YouTube and people I talk to about body positivity. And one thing is that I want you to feel how you feel. If you are comfortable with your weight, that's great. I know for me, I for years struggled with weight, and I was not like I was comfortable at that weight. Do I wish have I always wanted to lose weight? Of course, I've always wanted to be sort of what you call normal. But I also want to point out to people that there's a reason why they call it morbidly obese. Is because when you are morbidly obese, you are more likely to die. You know, it's not really something you want to be. So in terms of body positivity, I caution that you should be careful with that. You know, I think it's one thing to be healthy, right? It's also one thing to be overweight. For me, I was morbidly obese. I was 330 pounds at my heaviest, and I actually 345 pounds at my heaviest back in March of 2020. So, you know, it's something that you need to work on, chisel away at, and it's going to happen over a period of time. And that's one thing that I think is hardest is staying motivated. One thing I love about my TOPS group is that we help stay motivated with each other because we go and weigh in each week. We have that accountability structure with that group. That's one of the reasons why I stay in the group. Another thing is that we share ideas, we share tips, we share strategies for what works and what doesn't work. And we call people out on their BS. You know, we know people who are losing weight sometimes have BS because it's in here, right? And one thing that I want to do is I want to help people with their mental aspect of losing weight. Losing weight is not about necessarily exercise and eating. That's a big portion of it. But it all starts up here. And in before 2020, actually in 2015 or so, I started listening to audiobooks in the car. And I listened to some really great mentors, if you will, or authors who have shared their personal journeys with me through audiobooks. And I've learned from them, and I'm hoping that on this channel I can sort of do the same with learning from me, learning what I've learned from them to you, and I can deliver it in a format that makes the most sense. And we can share and collaborate and be accountable together through this channel. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, there's something you want to sort of be hopefully entertained along the way, but also join me on this journey as I still have weight to lose, believe it or not. I still want to lose like 15, 20 pounds, and I want to continue working out. I want this channel to sort of be a culmination of sort of 3 areas of self-development. Health, right, is obviously kind of like weight loss and mental health, that kind of thing. Wealth and, you know, creativity. As you all know, I'm a huge component of being your most creative self, and this channel is no different than that. I think that when you are able to live and be comfortable internally and externally, you'll be your most creative self. And of course, creativity leads to wealth, leads to opportunity, leads to living a whole new aspect of your life that you may not have been able to enjoy so far. And then of course, love, which is your relationships, your connections, your communications with others. And I want to so health, wealth, and love are the 3 areas that I want to focus on with my vlog. But most importantly, we're going to start with health because that's the journey that I'm sort of closely related to right now. I know I talk fast, I talk a lot, but please consider subscribing. And I'm going to share with you some sort of surprising things that I've done to lose weight and some sort of surprising things that I've done to maybe not lose weight. It's going to be fun, it's going to be inspiring, and I hope that you can join me along this journey by liking and subscribing and leaving a positive comment below. That's it for this first video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.